All right. Hey guys. Welcome back to another C Raiders video. This is part 2 of the 0 to FRC programming series. In this tutorial, we're going to be setting up VSCode and setting up our first FRC project. It's going to be a pretty short video compared to our other one, but with you starting your Java programming. But yeah, let's just get right into it. So first off, go ahead and share my screen. Let's go into how to get the VS Code for WPILib. So let's see this one. Here we go. All right. So as you can see on my screen here, I have a new screen. Let's go to WPILib releases. And you'll be able to see here, if you click on this link, it should take you to WPILib. Now, I'm not going to get the alpha. This is recorded in 2026. So you can really get like 2076.2.1 if you wanted to. What you're going to do is download it for whatever computer you're doing. WPILib, typically you can work on really any computer, as you can see here. If you're on Windows, download Windows. Just know the difference between ARM versus Intel if you're on Mac. Same with Linux. But yeah, once you download that, you're going to click on it. It's going to set you up with a startup wizard, and you're basically going to install it from there. With that, once you install it, I'm not going to install it for you guys right now, just because of the fact that I already did it. But it should install for you all the tools you're going to need for FRC, excepting like Path Planner and stuff like that, the optionals, which we'll get into that later. But for now, you should have everything you need. Now, once that install is all set up, go ahead and share my other screen here, which is my Visual Studio Code. So I'll go ahead and show you guys that real quick. If the screen would let me. There we go. I'll go to here. All right. So as you can see, I'm in the project that was on the last video where we were working on our intro to Java. Now, inside of this code editor, if I maybe like even have a new screen, right? So if I didn't have any of this, then you're going to also see at the top right corner this WPILib command palette. Okay. If you click on that, it's going to be like this weird little hexagon. It'll show this. All right. Now, WPIlib is pretty user-friendly. If you just type in create a new project, it should appear there, as you can see right here. So you're going to want to click on that, and it should take you here to this WPIlib project creator. Okay. Now, once you're here, you're going to need to do a couple things. You're going to need to select the folder that it's going to go in. You're going to need to select project name and your team number. Okay. Now, I'm assuming all of you guys are on FRC teams, but if you're not, then you can just put a random number. It doesn't really matter too much. You can put 9999. That's like a test number. So first off, what we're going to do is select the project type. I'm going to do a, let's do template for now. If you're working in C++, you're going to click that. I work in Java, so I'm going to do Java. And as you can see here, there's a lot of different ones you can do. Mainly, I work in command-based robot programming, but you can work in a lot of different ones. For example, timed robot, you can do that one. Me, I'm going to do command robot. So that's all clicked out. For a project folder, I can just pick maybe my home folder, and I'll select it. You're going to give it a project name. I will call this test video part 2, just because I'm not really going to keep this. You can create a new folder here. I would heavily recommend that unless you already have a folder called your project name inside where you're storing this. My team number, we are FRC number 10973. Now, lastly, before you generate your project, there is this enable desktop support here. Sometimes, or most of the time, you need it for simulation, but sometimes it'll bug out your code in some like real life stuff during build. So I would recommend having it on, but just know that sometimes disabling desktop support can work. All right, so with that, let's generate our project here. And yeah, you can open it in the current window. Just click yes, I trust the authors, and you should be here with a completely new project. All right. Since you're working in Java, you'll be able to notice that we have a bunch of cool stuff here, right? And this should just be up and working. You notice here that there is some Java stuff running in the background here. You'll notice that when you install WPILib VSCode, you're going to have this terminal here talk about builds, okay? Now using Gradle, you see, sorry, not Gradle, Gradle, build.gradle, you're going to be able to build your code, and that's how you're going to be able to successfully test it eventually when you have a real robot or when you are just testing it in the simulation. So yeah, that's kind of the basics right now. Mainly in Java, in FRC, we work in our SRC folder. That stands for source. So you're going to click on FRC/main. You're going to click on Java. And here you're going to be able to see a bunch of different things. Okay. If I click on main.java, this is our main quote unquote file, which is how we actually run the code. All right. But really, all the code is very much spread throughout all of these. You have your commands, subsystems, constants, your main, your robot, and your robot container. So with that, that's how you create a Java project. But then secondly, we're going to learn how to connect that to GitHub, right? Because if you're trying to work with other people on a project, you're going to need something called Git. It's basically a version control software that allows you to know when a project was, updated, different versions of a project, all that stuff. So if you click on the third icon down all the way on the left, you're going to see this little branch thing. It's going to be called source control. If you click on that, you're going to probably not have an initial repository yet, unless you've done something else. So we're going to need to initialize a repository and publish it to GitHub. All right. So first off, we can just initialize it like this, just like this. And you'll see we should have about 20 changes, which is the base project. Okay. Once you initialize it, we're gonna actually publish this repository to GitHub, which means first of all that you need a GitHub account. Just go ahead on github.com and create one. And secondly, we're gonna need to commit to it, right? Commit and push. So what I'll do, I'm gonna do something called a commit here. All right. A commit is where you can basically save a bunch of code that you created, and you can give it a little title like, this is the code for the shooter that I just made, right? Or this is the code for the elevator that I just made. So I'm just going to call this initial project setup code. Okay. Now, instead of just committing, I'm going to click on this right arrow here, and you're going to see an option called commit and push. All right. So why don't you go ahead and click that, and that's going to both save your code with the commit and push it. Now, I haven't explained pushing yet, but basically that means that you're going to put the code from your computer up into that cloud-based software where you have your Git repository. Okay. So commit and push. Okay. It's going to ask you to stage all of your changes, basically like just set them up to be committed. And yes, we're going to click that. And there you go. Now here's the problem, is our repository has no remotes configured to push to, right? Because of the fact that we haven't exactly set this up inside of GitHub yet, then we're not going to have anything to push to. We're just going to have our initial commit here, which means that we're going to want to publish it, right? So if I click here, there is our main branch. Now, if I remember correctly, let's go ahead and try to publish it. Now, see, changes is kind of just going to go on for a little while now. But let me see here. We're going to publish our branch. You see that? At the top, right, or not top right, but like the middle, it's going to say publish branch, right? Now, this is test video part 2, because this is part 2 of our video series. And I'm going to say publish to GitHub public repository. Okay, this one. Now, if I do this, I think I'm on a different account, but let's just try it here. If I say publish to GitHub public repository. Now, since, like I said, I'm on a different account than what I'm signed into on GitHub, it's going to ask me to create a fork. I can do that if I want to. Yeah, that's fine. So eventually, once I give myself permission inside of GitHub, I can officially like publish to it. And actually, here's what I can do real quick. I'm gonna show you guys how it works inside of GitHub. So I'll share my Chrome right now, and we'll be able to see this. So github.com. If I sign in real quick, so we should be able to see on the left, we're going to see test video part 2. Okay. Inside of here, you'll be able to see that we really don't have much right now. Now, I can invite a collaborator, which I'll just add my school email on top of this so that I can actually publish. Okay. And with that, I will just log in real quick. Give me one quick second. You can fast forward in the video if you'd like. Let me just do that real quick. All right, here's what we'll do. And we will go log out real quick. Sign out, and then view invitation. Sign back into my account. There we go. Accept invitation. All right, so now I added myself as a collaborator. You guys don't exactly have to do this, but if you'd like, you can. Oops. Hold on a second. So once we're back here, I can now, inside of my Visual Studio Code, actually do this. So I will stop this now, and I'll share my Visual Studio Code again. Now I'm going to click this publish branch again, and you can see that it is officially published. Here. It should be published. Let us go ahead and check the GitHub one more time. There we go. So I have set it up on, oh, you guys can see. One second. I have set this up here, as you can see, where after I pushed it, you can see all our code that was on our VSCode is now officially on here on GitHub. And that's how people on different computers are able to see it. So with that, that was just, a quick video today going through that. I might have edited out some stuff because of the fact that there were some weird errors that were going on. I think it was because I'm, again, on 2 different accounts. But all in all, that should be good to go. With that, I will leave you guys to it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments down below. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. That is FRC 0 to FRC part 2. All right, bye-bye.